My husband cooked, cleaned, and bathed our kids after a 10-hour shift while I was glued to my phone. Then he told me to leave him alone, and it was his easiest night ever. I'm a stay-at-home mom in my late 30s with 2 beautiful boys, and honestly, I've been struggling to keep any kind of schedule. My husband works brutal 50-hour weeks at his job, and he comes home every single day with his back absolutely killing him. But despite the pain, despite being exhausted, he still cooks dinner 4 to 5 times a week, does at least half the dishes, and bathes both of our sons before bed. I handle the other household tasks as a stay-at-home mom, but I'll admit, I avoid anything that involves bending down to the floor. Picking up toys is really hard for me, so my husband usually handles that too when he gets home. After work, all he really wants is to lie down flat for a bit to help with his back pain. That's literally all he asks for. The day before yesterday was a particularly long day for him. He came home after working a full 10-hour shift, and instead of collapsing on the couch like most people would, he went straight to the kitchen and cooked this incredible dinner for all of us. He used fresh vegetables, made it nutritious and delicious, and both our sons absolutely loved it. They were asking for seconds, which rarely happens with kids. After dinner, he didn't even ask me to help. He just started cleaning up, threw the first load of dishes into the dishwasher, got it running, and then finally went to our bedroom to lie down. His back was in so much pain I could see it on his face. He desperately needed that rest. About 20 minutes later, he came out to check on things. I was still sitting at the dinner table, slowly eating my food, completely absorbed in my phone. I was just mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, barely even chewing. He looked at me for a second, didn't say anything, and went back to the bedroom. I didn't even notice him standing there. 30 minutes after that, he came out again. Same exact situation. I was still at that table, still on my phone, still slowly picking at my food like I was in some kind of trance. The boys were playing quietly in the living room, and I was just oblivious to everything around me. He went back to the room without saying a single word. Another 30 minutes passed, and he came out once more. You'd think I would have noticed the pattern by now, but no. Still glued to my phone, still eating at a snail's pace, still completely checked. At this point, my husband just kind of laid down on the sofa because his back was still absolutely killing him. He couldn't even sit up properly anymore. He just watched our older son play with his Legos, and our younger son chew on Legos, which is apparently his favorite activity these days. 20 more minutes went by like this, and suddenly I glanced at the clock on my phone. It was 8:15 p.m., way past bath time for the boys. And here's the thing, dinner had been done early, the boys had been fed early, the dishes were mostly done early. Everything was ahead of schedule for once, which almost never happens in our house. I was the only thing holding up the entire show, just sitting there doom scrolling through Instagram, chewing each bite like I was savoring a 5-star meal at a fancy restaurant. The moment I saw the time, I did what I do every single night without fail. I panicked. I literally yelled out, "It's 8:15. We're so behind. We need to get the boys in the bath right now." My husband, still lying on the couch in visible pain, slowly turned his head to look at me. His face was exhausted. But there was something else there too, something I hadn't seen before, a mix of frustration and disappointment. He took a deep breath and said, "Yeah, I know exactly what time it is. I've known for the past 2 hours while you've been sitting there." I started to get up from the table, ready to rush the boys to the bathroom, but he stopped me mid-motion. He said, "You know what? Maybe tomorrow just leave me alone when I get home. Let me handle everything myself without having to check on you every 20 minutes. Tonight would have actually been so much easier that way. Genuinely easier." That sentence hit me like a freight train. He wasn't being mean or raising his voice or trying to start a fight. He was just calmly stating a fact. A painful, undeniable fact. He had worked a grueling 10-hour shift, came home and cooked a full meal, cleaned up the kitchen, watched the kids, all while dealing with chronic back pain that makes every movement hurt. And the only thing that made his night harder was me sitting there doing absolutely nothing, making him feel like he had to keep coming out to check on me. I realized in that devastating moment that I hadn't just been unhelpful, I had actually been a burden. He would have had an easier, more peaceful, less stressful evening if I wasn't even there at all. That reality broke something deep inside me.